So you're halfway through a novel and struggling to get it done. You're snowed down with admin, stuck in a cycle of editing, marketing, and promotion, and you're wondering why you ever decided to be a writer in the first place. Well, stay tuned for a healthy dose of inspiration. My passion for writing started at a very young age, and not surprisingly, it started as a passion for reading first. When I discovered Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series and the Shannara Chronicles by Terry Brooks, I utterly lost myself in those amazing fantasy worlds. Now, I'll be honest, I have a terrible memory, so how can I truly say that epic fantasy was my first true love in writing? Well, I happen to have in my hot little hands the very first story I ever wrote. Well, at least the only one that survived the fire. It's written in pen back before we had cell phones and hoverboards, and it's a fairly typical urban fantasy style adventure entitled The Seal of War. The writing and spelling aren't great, but you can practically feel the joy of a young man's first exploration into descriptive language and intense fantasy writing. Intrigued? Well, of course you are. So here's a sneak peek at the first few chapters of The Seal of War.
In the dark, damp underground, a strange feeling of expectation arose. Small filters of light penetrated the numbing blackness, sending iridescent waves of light through the tunnel. In this underground sewage tunnel, everything stood still. The silence was deafening, and only small drops of slimy water falling from the roof of the tunnel dared to penetrate it. Suddenly, without warning, a blinding light burst effortlessly through the floor. With a shuddering thunder, blinding light shot wildly through the tunnel, pervading through everything in its path. Amid the light, a huge, dark, muscular figure appeared. Then, with frightening realness, the figure shot upwards through the earth above. It continued to move with great speed upward until it came to a stop above the city. Without moving its lips, the alien began to mutter to himself,
"This city is mine."
So how does reaching back into my early history relate to the question of passion, I hear you ask? Well, simple. Even by just picking up this story and holding it in my hands, the fire in my belly for writing has been stoked immeasurably. This connection with my earlier self reminds me of why I was drawn to writing in the first place and why I love it so much. For me, the most addictive part about writing is the ability to explore new worlds. It's just like the thrill you get when you're reading someone else's book, only this time you can play God and decide where the story goes. It's an addictive feeling and one that I've been chasing my whole life. So that's my suggestion if you're having trouble getting motivated to finish your current project or even to get started in writing your novel. If you're struggling with the harsh realities of being an indie writer and wondering if this is for you or not, try to rediscover your first steps in your writing journey and let the memory of those first words reignite your passion. You're a writer for a reason, but sometimes the press of everyday life, the stress of writing, editing, and promoting your work can drain your energy and your passion. It's important to remember why you write and what it is that first started you on your creative journey. In the immortal words of a younger me, all our best efforts are in vain. Writing is awesome, and you should totally do it. If you're struggling with motivation, try to find that first moment when your passion for writing started. If you need more inspiration, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell, and you'll get access to a veritable library of encouragement and passion. Still struggling? Leave a comment below, and I'll lend you a little passion of my own. And, as always, keep it real, keep it safe.